Hello, my name is Hilari Holt, and this is my KC Comedy Hub Spotlight. So I'm gonna, of course, just read the questions and then answer. It's pretty simple. I just sometimes like to explain a little too much, but just to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that's because being on the same page is important, especially in improv. Okay, get into it. How long have you been doing comedy, and what made you get into it? So I have been performing improv specifically, but I consider myself, I would say, a comedic performer because I can do different things when I want. But I've been doing that for over 8 years, as well as teaching and coaching for over 5. And what made me get into it, actually, acting has been my focus. So ever since I was little, I didn't start in theater or do any of those things. It's just something I always wanted to do. Kind of had access to be able to do those things, but then when it came to it, I just didn't. But what led me to improv, to Comedy City specifically, was a on-camera audition class with Heather Laird of Right Laird Casting, shout out, that I took, and it was suggested as an actor to go and do improv because it makes you a better actor, as well as just having improv on your resume is also good, which I can attest to because I have gotten castings or bookings just because I had improv. So that suggestion led me to Comedy City, and I took 2 classes, and it was just like, oh, okay, I can audition, and it was fun, and I was just like, oh, I'm good at this thing, and learning how to do it was a journey, and now 8 years later, here I am. How would you describe yourself as a comedian? Silly. I've got my little silly bracelet that a friend made for me and picked out for me. But yeah, it's just fun and silly, and sometimes absolutely ridiculous, and a bit unhinged. If you've ever seen me perform improv, you would say yes, for sure. But also playing smart as well, and making sure I'm paying attention and supporting everyone around me, and trying to make sure that at least what I'm doing is adding into that yes and part of yes, I'm agreeing, and let's add something else. So yeah, as a comedian, just fun and silly, and then outside of that, just pretty chill. Chill, fun, silly, just kind of a variety of things, I suppose I could say. Talk to us about the Black Comedy Festival, that you produce, what it is, and what gave you the idea. So for Black Comedy Fest KC, I'm the founder, executive director, and producer. And it is a comedy festival to showcase the comedic talents in improv, stand-up, and sketch of Black creatives, specifically near and far. And it was its first year this year. And what gave me the idea was just wanting to be included in a bigger comedic narrative in Kansas City, as we don't really have an improv festival going on since 2019. And I had to pause there because I lost my train of thought, and I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes maybe. If I can, I think I can. It's only, yeah. So gave me the idea is just looking out and seeing and being reminded that, oh yeah, you can't just create the thing. So I wanted a space to show off people off, as well as being a space that's going to be safe and also fun. Another part of it, of being Black specifically, was just seeing that, in being aware of the variety of Blackness that exists. So also the hope and idea of all Blackness coming together and seeing each other, and then that can help us just, expand the definition of Blackness. And also just have fun and silly, and knowing that all three of those things, improv, stand-up, and sketch, how they also can play off of each other, and you can each one can make you a little bit better in each. I know the words I'm trying to say, but I also don't want to record this again, so you're just going to get this raw. Because I've many of interviews and I've slightly forgotten all of the things that I've said, but mainly it's to have a space that showcases the variety of comedic talents in the genre of comedy and Black folks near and far. So how did your inaugural festival go? I would say well. The weather kind of affected attendance a lot, I believe, but we only had to cancel one show because of attendance. And everyone who was supposed to be paid or pay back got it. So success, that says success to me. And it was fun. It was nice to see other people and get to know people outside of KC, and then also be able to have a space that kind of brought in other comedic performers who didn't know each other when it first started. I knew everyone, so I sometimes like to be that little red string that connects people, because I just see the benefit of just everyone, especially in Kansas City. If we just kind of know each other, we don't have to be friends. we don't have to be best friends, but we do need to, learn about each other, and just it can expand your mind frame. Now I have completely derailed from the question, so let's go back. What was it like to take on such a huge project and succeed? Exhausting. That's the first word that comes to mind. But it was something that I knew would be a challenge. I have also about 10 years of event planning, just different event planning experiences, either being a part of the event planning or just kind of being in the space helping or volunteering. So I knew a lot of stuff that goes into it, especially for Kansas City events and for events that happen at the Gym Theater. So I was just kind of pulling from what I already knew. I was just kind of went along with it as we went, and doing the best to delegate, even though I know as the founder and the person who's said, here, I want to do this is my baby, would do a lot and delegate as much as I could, knowing that a lot was going to have to be for me for this first time of creating a strong foundation that I believe I have, or working on it. But yeah, to succeed, it felt really good. I felt very proud of myself and proud of everyone involved. And yeah. So, do you have any big plans for the festival next year? So, because of the amount of energy that it took, and for being the first one and having a lot of learning things was also a big learning process. The festival will be next year, so 2026, because there's just some admin things that need to be moved around, and and it's also just a good time to just take a little break and come back even better, so that there's more time to look at adjustments that need to be made and make sure that nothing's going to be like kind of rushed and all that. So you are a serious podcaster. Talk to us about your true crime paranormal pod called That's KC. So That's KC was myself and my co-host Hilari Batliner. We met at working at the escape room in Union Station. One day we were listening to a podcast. It was a true crime podcast. A true crime paranormal. I know the name, but it's just escaping me right now. But you've been listening for a while, and I looked at Hilari, and I was like, hey, do you want to do a podcast? She was like, sure. So, because we knew there's plenty of true crime around Kansas City, and we knew that there was some paranormal, so we had it be paranormal and true crime. So that was from July of 2017 until our last episode, January 2019, because it takes a lot to do a podcast, especially one, because we made it niche a lot. So it was fun, and then just kind of doing research and having something that we did every week, and then I learned editing and all of those things. So it was fun, and it's still available if you want to go listen to it. Highly recommend. And so it's fun because we do true crime and paranormal. Each week it's switched off from Missouri or Kansas City and surrounding areas. And I would give like a true crime fact, and then Hilary would give a then an escape room fact, and then kind of got away from it and just did kind of a life hack kind of fact. But yeah, so serious, I don't know about that. Used to be yes. But yeah, it was fun to do something and talk about a thing that was very interesting of true crime and paranormal and Kansas City. Because Kansas City has a lot of history, and I don't know if everyone understands that or knows that. So there's that. You have a new podcast coming out soon called Silly with Hilly. Tell us more. I will. So that was me needing to do something creative again, a little podcasty. So essentially what it's going to be when I have more energy to get more things recorded and edited and updated and uploaded, but it will at least be once a month. I promised for it to be at least once a month. And it's just me and another friend, and we're just kind of chatting about just some silly stories that have happened in our lives, and also talk about them as well, because I could talk about myself, and I know I do a lot of things, but I also have very fun and interesting and silly friends. So it's essentially kind of what it'll be is just listening to two friends who've known each other for a little while or for a long while, and having just a quick silly time to bring some more laughter into our world. What do you like most about improv? I like the most that it is, for performer-wise, that it is very disposable. I act and stuff, and I've done some theater, but boy, do I hate rehearsal. I don't know, so there's some others out there just be like, yes, because the repetitiveness can get to be a lot for me, at least. So I like that it's just kind of, I know what we're doing because we do rehearse, but we're rehearsing like more skills or just kind of things we need to work on or build on, and learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, things like that. But I also do The Hill and I, which is started as more of a challenge for me to show that I could improvise with pretty much anyone, of an improviser, and then have expanded to be any like regular person, because we're just playing pretend. You played pretend as a kid, you just can do it as an adult. There's just a few little rules to agree and support. So yeah, I just like that it's can be as fun and silly and ridiculous as possible. I've been just like, a standing tree on stage, or a goose or anything, and you can be a variety of things. There are so many options of how to play and how to perform improv, and just what you can do on stage. So I like that it's fun and there's options, and I don't have to keep doing the same thing. What do you like to do outside of comedy? Sleep. Sleep, watch shows and stuff. Right now I'm in a spot where I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break to just let my brain get bored and do more stuff. So more art, or of course going out and seeing other Casey things and supporting friends, and just discovering more out in Casey, because there's so much that Kansas City has that I know I barely touched and need to catch up on. So yeah, and just eating, having fun, relaxing, hang out, relax, do a little bit of yoga here and there. Okay. What do you like the best about the Kansas City comedy scene? I like that it has the availability for it to be what you make it. There's plenty of space for you to go and start up a show somewhere, and there's a ton of connections around. Excuse me. And yeah, the best is that it's accessible, and pretty much anyone can do it. yeah, there's some rules, but it's comedy. It's performing, and it's a performing art. It is what you make of it. Yeah. Where do you find your inspiration for your comedic material? A lot just mostly just going out and observing the world. I try to look at different cultures, or like try to see the way of things. When I would go to the laundromat, I would like take a little book and just kind of note what that looked like. For me as a improviser and as an actor, that was more of trying to get inspiration of like when I'm doing my object work, of looking at what the environment looks like to try and represent it on stage. Any inspiration? My probably bigger inspiration, the way I play and perform, is just like kid thoughts, kid views. What would I have done as a kid? What do kids do? Because that also enhances that freeness and that silliness and creativity. Who are your comedy heroes? There a lot, but I go for the folks around me more. So in KC Improv, I would say, of course, like Trish Barong, Jill Bernard, all of Three Pete. Any other heroes? I blank out because there's just so many people and that I pull inspiration from, but the people I pull inspiration from the most are the people around me and my friends. So we've got, of course, Jill Gillespie and Maggie Cargill, and everyone in You People as well, which is the improv group that is, still is Kansas City's only all-Black improv group. And we started in 2018, so you should also go check out You People, the letter U in People. What is the best piece of advice you could give a new comic? Well, I would say a new performer, or new improviser. Come into it business-minded. Because if you want to advance more and do these things, it's very fun, and it's fun to kind of play around and get some laughs and things. But if you want to advance, you should come into it like a business. So that means that you do have to do networking, that you need to learn how to navigate people, communication, communicate, please. The best to your abilities, but communicate, because we can't organize and get things done or get you booked unless you communicate. What is the biggest dream you dream as a comedian? I think I still big picture, just being in comedy movies on big screen, or being at SNL. Yes, and then locally, like on the ground, still would have a dream of opening up my own comedy venue eventually, somewhere down the road, because I know what it takes, and I don't want to do it yet. So there's that. And how can people find your live shows and online content? So like I mentioned earlier, I am taking a break for about 6 months. So in like January, I'll start to post about or plan shows and do some stuff later on. And online content, you can just find it all on Instagram, mainly at hilarious124, because you can't spell hilarious without Hilary. You can't. You literally can't. So online, on TikTok, it's also hilarious124. I just kind of keep this handle the same. And then on Facebook, I'm revamping it, and I have a page that is called Hey Hill, HEYHIL, 1L. It's always 1L. So thank you so much to KC Comedy Hub. Big shout out. Thank you so much for doing this and all the time that y'all put into showcasing and promoting our shows and everything. It's such a huge help, and it's greatly appreciated. And you all cover so many of the bases that it makes my heart shine a ton. All right. Bye.